Welcome to the Dawg Chug, Roger. How you doing?
Yes. Yeah, up and down, Andy. I It's just been a crazy week, and 4th of July just went by. I didn't even see him. I don't know how
was
you
your
doing.
4th of July?
I'm sorry.
How was your 4th of July weekend? Was it good?
My 4th of July weekend, yeah, it was good. We kind of kept to ourselves, did some fishing. We went up to Westlake to see my mom and my sister and my whole side of the family, actually. My brother, everybody was there. The kids swam. We kept to ourselves. You know what? I don't want to take my kids out in public crowds to public events, to be honest with you. And that's just a state. So Independence Day to me was like, I'm out. I want to push in my chips, and I'm out. I'm going to start my own country right here. Little island here in Cuyahoga Falls.
Wow. Will you allow Ed to come to your little island, your country?
I would allow Ed to come in, but you got to go through a metal detector.
Fair enough. I went. One of the problems with COVID kind of stopping being a thing is that we have to spend time with family. So I got to spend 4th of July celebrations with the in-laws, and man, did that not go well.
No. Bad news.
My father-in-law is a great man, but he does drink a lot, which you would think I would respect. I guess he got a little annoyed that Chris didn't come say hi to him enough because he was just sitting in his chair the entire time like a king. Everyone had to come to him, and then he just sent a very nasty text message like, next time maybe your daughter should go spend time with Andy's parents since she doesn't care about me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway.
And it's like just a guy my age, older than me.
Yeah.
His grandpa.
But anyway, we're okay because we're okay because Jessica's here. So Jessica, thank you so much for listening as always. Our biggest fan. Obviously we got some
outside of that though. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
We got some big news today. Obviously, we've been waiting for this domino to drop for pretty much all off season. It finally dropped today. And obviously I've got thoughts on this. You've got thoughts on this, but we want to push to the front of the show the guy that will have the thought, what you all need to know about Baker Mayfield going to the Carolina Panthers. So, and he just dropped off because his internet sucks. Dan will be on. Oh, here he is. Maybe.
I heard him.
Maybe.
Dan,
what's going on? All right.
What's going on?
Tell us what the Baker Mayfield take is, because I know you got it.
I've been waiting all day for this.
No, I pretty much covered it on Twitter though. No, I just I gave up. I was over it after I heard like his locker room shit. Like everybody loved him when he beat Pittsburgh in the playoffs, but last year he just shows he doesn't have any culpability for anything he does. Like he made a lot of stupid decisions, decided to blame the team, the coaches, everybody else, but it wasn't his fault. And then even right after this, before the Browns were even shown they were interested in Watson, like his wife posted some stuff like they was gonna move and like they're done in Cleveland. Oh, bye, like get out. He was never for Cleveland. He's always been about Baker. And I mean, I backed him, and I thought he was franchise quarterback, but he's not. Like he's gonna be a toxic leader for any team he goes to.
Wow.
That was,
all right.
Yeah.
Well, you heard it there. Dan was actually on the first podcast of the Dawg Chug, and he claimed well before the season started that he is not dick riding 6.
He did. He is not dick riding 6. And Dan called it at the end. Dan had it.
Jessica needs closed captioning. I thought actually Dan sounded more coherent today than I think he's ever sounded on the Dawg Chug. And you could see him. He had the lights on, which was cool. So that was a great appearance.
That was pretty lucid.
Was very lucid.
I'm shocked. Well done, Dan.
Well done. We also need to make a special mention to the very own champion of the USFL. Our boy picked him. I think you picked him first. You were one of the first teams to pick
I knew
You
it,
knew
man.
the
I knew
team
it.
that Scooby was going on to, and your team just won the Super Bowl essentially. How does it feel? You got it one for one.
Well,
knew
you
it.
know, the greatest thing about the USFL champions, your Birmingham Stallions, was their linebacker, the short dog, Scooby Wright, who played for our Cleveland Browns. So, you know, one love for Scooby. I got it done. I was, you know, leading the pack all year from the starting line to the finish line. Giddy up for your Birmingham Stallions. One love. And I got a trophy being made because as a day one dog, as we all are, the 8 of us, Jessica. John, I'll say this. Props out to Jessica in Oklahoma. She was the only one to defeat Ed and Columbus's Birmingham Stallions, the USFL champions.
I want to point something out though. You just said you're going to make a trophy for yourself for winning, for backing the right team. I don't even think the players team that won the champion get a trophy in the USFL. They just get like a free to Applebee's.
Well, you know, I always say this, my quote, I love me some me. Why wouldn't I get myself a trophy? I won the championship. Those were my guys. You know, giddy up every week. I post. Is this not true, Roger? Every week they won besides the 1 week. I would go ahead and post the standings. I would even put the schedule out there for everybody because I was on top. I love myself. And, you know, I'm glad that the good Lord graced me with a championship this year because Ed and Columbus and the USFL, look, one's going to be around longer than the other one, and it's going to be Ed and Columbus. Sorry, Birmingham.
Do you know who's to blame for all of this, Andy?
It was actually my New Orleans Breakers because they lost to the Stallions three separate times.
No. Who started the whole USFL thing in Day One Dogs? And Jessica's fault. Jessica's fault. That Ed won everything.
I love that you're celebrating this championship. Winning the USFL championship is paramount to like getting a tweet to 100 likes. It's not a big accomplishment.
I'd take the 200, probably the tweet, probably right now. But until I get that, I got to go with my trophy that I get made. I'm going to try to keep it under, $10. Hopefully, maybe if I get, maybe have a little, stallion on top, and we'll try to work that one out. But I can't wait to present that maybe in the next couple of weeks on the Dawg Chug. It'll be an exclusive presented by Offside Sports Network. That's how we get down. Those are our guys. But I want to say one thing, Andy. Now, this past weekend, we celebrated our freedoms. But today, I'm proud to be an American because we're Baker Mayfield free. And you know what? Shout out to all my Cleveland Browns fans and the nation that is the Browns. And I'm feeling good right now, Andy. I'm feeling real good.
Did you sing that same song earlier today on the Barking Browns?
I did not. I usually keep my
Dawg Chug
exclusive. Well, with the AOK, JOK, I got in trouble with Ross. I tried to do some backdoor deals. I don't know if the paperwork's actually been, the ink is dried yet. So I'm a little cautious every time I use my pipes in a singing fashion. So it will be a Dawg Chug exclusive.
Really? Not tomorrow night? You're not going to do it tomorrow night?
I am on tomorrow night. That's funny that you said that special time down with the Browns, 7 o'clock, special guest ESPN.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Emmett Golden.
Okay.
How did you manage to line up such a good guest for the Down with the Browns tomorrow?
Christian is a hustler. I want to give, I have my connections with Emmett, but he went out and reeled this fish in himself. So mad love to Christian Scott.
Nice. Ed, by the way, a couple weeks ago, you said that you thought you could get Tom Arnold, the famous, iconic actor and former husband to Roseanne, to do an episode of the Dawg Chug. How are you doing?
Listen, I have not. Look, I saw him actually on Twitter. He's lost about, 50 pounds or whatever. So God bless you, Tom Arnold. But he is a big Iowa Hawkeyes fan. And my goal is to get him during college football season. I'm working on it. Tom Arnold, we have DM before. This is not a lie. So we're going to get him on the Dawg Chug this fall. Yep.
All right. If you can get Tom Arnold to do our show, if he comes on live, I don't want a video, but if he actually comes on and says hi to us for 5 minutes, I like to drink, right? I will not drink from that day until the start of the season.
I think the only way I can actually put up with you is when you do drink. So I don't know if that's...
Yeah, but think of the scoreboard you would have over. Think about how miserable I would be not drinking every day.
That's a good point. That is a great point.
Yeah,
yes. All right. Well, let's bet.
Good luck doing that. That would be awesome. I love Tom Arnold. I would love to say hi to him. So good luck. I also... wanted to say, shout out to Ross, by the way. Our producer is on vacation. He was going to jump on for a little bit to say hi, but I guess he was having a little bit too much fun in the sun. We told him just go enjoy your vacation. So, but he said say hi to all of our audience. So hello to all 5 of you. We appreciate you, Ross. Appreciate you. We'll get on next week.
I want to say about Ross is I started out to write a top 10 reasons why the Dawg Chug sucks without Ross on it, and I'm like, it's just self-explanatory. It's going to be self-explanatory tonight. There's just all of it. There was no doubt. I was lost without Ross. Like today, without his docs, and like he usually is the one that gets the ball rolling, and Andy's creating at home, and they put it on, and I was lost without Ross. Lost without Ross hashtag. That's going to be my hashtag for this show.
I never checked the Google Docs anyway, so I
He's
didn't
the best
really.
producer in Cleveland Twitter podcast. Ross.
Very true.
He actually is a real producer, so
He keeps this thing running like a
Yeah, we apologize that today will be extra shitty because we do not have Ross helping us, but we're gonna do the best we can. Ed, I wanted to ask you, you know how I've had this policy to not wear my Browns gear as proudly as I used to. I really haven't worn a Browns shirt actually since when was it, March that we made
I've classified it as cuckish behavior.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, is that being a cuck?
Oh, absolutely.
Now, I'm not going on Twitter and making grandiose statements that I'm not wearing this. It's just I didn't feel comfortable wearing it, so I wasn't wearing it. Does that make it better, or am I still a cuck?
Cuck-a-doodle-doo. You're a cuck.
Well, I want to say to that point, when you saw the NFL's argument that they made when the recap that there was no coercion, no violence, nothing. What the fuck are we talking about? I get that he's still guilty of something, but there's no way, in my opinion, he's guilty of what he's being accused of in the media, right? So to that end, I'm over it. And
oh, look at that!
Yeah.
I almost wore my Browns hoodie with the helmet. Andy, that is awesome.
Getting me very hot, Andy. You're very hot now.
So I am back to proudly wearing my Browns gear. This whole thing has been very frustrating experience to go through because we just don't have the information, obviously. But at the end of the day, I am not outraged anymore that the Browns traded for this guy. He did something douchey, I guess, but we need to stop talking about it. Get the suspension announced. Maybe it'll be nothing. Who knows? And then we'll go from there, and we'll put this whole thing behind us. That's what I say.
I agree. Andy, I've said my piece on Twitter. I'm not going to make it part of Dawg Chug because my own personal belief to the situation. I grew up in an entire different world. I grew up in a world where I know that I personally know 30 women that will flim-flam you at the drop of a hat. And they're nice people, and I knew them as good friends. Or what? Just I grew up in a different world, and the whole thing's shady. They're all guilty, and none of them are telling the fucking truth. And let's just move on with it. Get the suspension. It's all greasy, and I'm done with it. And let's play football.
Roger, why
Yes.
do I feel like if I was going to get my DeLorean and get my time machine and go 88 miles an hour and go back to the future, why do I feel like I had a destination picked out? You talking about these greasy women and stuff got me intrigued a little bit. So I may have to recalibrate my date and my time there and go out in Columbus, have a little fun, if you know what I mean.
I'm just saying that people do just the whole thing's greasy. I don't believe any of them. And just get the suspension. It's political at this point, right?
You should just jump up on a soapbox. You should jump on a soapbox and yell out, "I'm being flim-flammed."
All of it. Did you ever see the movie with George C. Scott?
What movie?
It was George C. Scott from the 1950s. Flim Flam
It's
Man.
called
It
The
was
Flim
a good
Flam?
movie.
Right.
Yes,
No, I have not seen
you got to
it.
see that.
Amazingly, I have not seen that.
You knew the reference, though. You knew the reference.
You know who know about it? Our guest tonight.
Speaking of our guest,
yeah.
I think it's time to bring him on.
Right.
He's making his second appearance to the Dawg Chug.
One of my favorite people on Twitter.
He's one of the best people to follow. Please, everyone, go follow him if you're not already, which you had to have been because you saw him the first time and you had to follow him immediately. He was got us all to sing last time. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll sing
Oh, he
again.
did. All right.
Man, the guy writes, the guy sings, the guy dances. He plays left tackle at Akron University. He's taking snaps at Akron University left tackle.
And if there's any reason to really appreciate our next guest, it's because he is so loud and boisterous that you can't even hear Ed.
Right.
Welcome to the Dawg Chug, Kevin. So good to have you back.
Hey, top of the morning, boys. How's it going? Thank you for having me.
Thank you for
Thank you
coming
for-
on
Yeah,
again.
here's you.
That was a great intro. I mean, it's a bit much. Yeah, there was a lot of singing, dancing. We all had a great time. I think we went 60 minutes over what you boys
All right.
usually do. Let's try to keep it a little shorter this time around.
Hey,
Yeah, we were not really the guilty parties of that show going long, as I recall.
You were not.
But thank you for coming back. Most people are smart enough to the one time they come on to be like, "Ooh, I'm never doing this again. This was horrible." But you came back out, so we appreciate it.
yes.
So, what's your reaction to the big news today? Are you like Dan?
Yeah.
Did you? What was Dan's point that he just? I think he just said that Baker sucks and is an asshole, right? Yeah. Well, how does Kevin see it?
Yeah, pretty. My reaction to the whole thing is that, we when he was playing for the Browns, we loved him, and now he's not on the Browns anymore. And today a lot of us are letting him know that we appreciated his time here, but now he's the enemy.
Is
Simple
he
as that.
Kevin? Is he the enemy? Because I'm seeing on Twitter, I'm seeing a lot of so-called Browns fans saying, "I hope Baker and the Panthers beat the Browns in Week 1." What do you say to those people?
I would say that about 60% of the people that comment on this QB situation have probably never been to an NFL game. Realistically, if you look at Twitter as a whole, the people that are saying that, they're either be from Oklahoma or they are people that follow like about 102 people, and then they have 3 followers. So there's not much you can do about that. I mean, and they just keep writing it the same thing all the time. A whiles back, our good friend, I'll refer to him as Potato, Mr. Potato, and interactions with him. What the heck was? Chops. It makes me think about going back to that. It's a lot of flip flops on Twitter. A lot of flip flops. It's whenever it's most convenient. And
Is that Kevin? Is that a bad thing? Is that a bad thing about flip flopping? Like I can go back and get plenty of receipts of me saying, "Oh, I'm Baker this, I'm Baker that." Why he was doing good, but now I tend to be more the opposite way. Why doesn't his performance over time? Why can't people on Twitter rationalize that you're actually allowed to change your opinion as a grown-up about besides the sports, but about real life issues? So why can't that apply to sports? Because if you say a person is good, you automatically mean they're always good, and if you flip-flop, then you're a bad person. I don't get the whole sports Twitter thing. Can you help me out with that?
No, I can't because I don't get it either.
I'll give you guys.
Crazy thing is,
I'll give you the answer to that one.
Give me the
I'm
answer,
very-
Andy.
Okay.
let's hear
At
it.
the end of the day, of course, your opinion's allowed to evolve over time. We like a rookie, right? And then he plays great, and we love him. And or a guy comes in with big expectations, and he sucks, and then you whatever. I mean, things evolve, right? The day everyone gets drafted, we put our opinion out there, and then it changes over time. Point is, not like some people would characterize our owner, Jimmy Haslam, as whoever was the last person in his office is kind of the way. Like whoever's voice he heard last, that's the opinion he's going to gravitate towards, because the guy doesn't have an opinion. Whoever is buzzing in his ear in the last second, that's what he thinks. There are people on Twitter that whatever the narrative is, they just go with it. They don't have any thoughts for themselves. They don't think about anything. If everyone loves Baker, they love him. As soon as people turn on Baker, they decide, I'm going to turn on Baker too. And it's kind of annoying. If your opinion's flip-flopping every other week, you probably are a shitty person on Twitter. No offense.
Andy,
yeah.
I'm going to stick up for Jimmy Haslam right here, because you said
Okay.
who's ever in his office last is the opinion that he usually goes with. Well, I'm glad it's his office now, because it used to be the homeless man. So it's better that at least he's getting people in the office that he's listening to, and not just the homeless people on the streets. So
It's true.
he's
It's
getting
even
better.
homeless people on the streets.
Yes.
Anyway, so
It's crazy seeing Ed so like engaged and like on topic, and I mean, he's been on the roll these past couple months since I've made my first appearance here. So really glad that all of
You made me a
Brown's
better
Nation
person,
and the
Kevin.
dog.
You made me a better person.
I'm
it's
proud of you, Eddie.
2022.
You're really starting to turn it. I really like it. I really like what you do, and people are starting to notice it.
2022
So
is the year of Ed. He has been a breakout this year, and I'm excited to see what the year will continue to bring from Ed in Columbus. And we were happy to be the first ones to cultivate him and bring him in our wing, give him a voice. He's been amazing, and now you're on like 15 podcasts. You're hosting spaces.
Oh yeah, shout out to Allison, the Queen of Staten Island, for being the president of the Ed in Columbus fan club. Just want to shout that out. You know, I love my peoples. Love me some me.
I told you that my 15 minutes are going to come when somebody at like a national level realizes there's only been one guy that fired Ed in Columbus. And then they're going to have me on their talk show. And I'm going to be like on Jim Rome.
You were
At 2, Roger. At 2.
Right, baby. You took me to the top. I'll never forget it.
All right. Well, we have obviously a lot of opinions on Baker, and I want to play a Baker Mayfield spit, sip, chug. I can imagine the audience groaning. I've got 3 questions that all have something to do with Baker. Kevin, you were on. You know how to play spit, sip, chug. I don't think we need to explain it anymore because the same 3 people are watching every week. So if you don't understand what's going on, it's probably pretty obvious once we get going. So,
Andy, I got a disclaimer.
Yeah.
I said I was going to get drunk on the show, but I'm only going to be drinking.
I shouldn't have complimented him.
I did some day drinking today.
Kevin,
I did a little day drinking, and I got a little drunk.
All right, can we pause for a second?
day
How in the hell did you decide? Like, what were the circumstances that involved Ed in Columbus day drinking? Because I have to like put a gun to your head to get you to drink a beer. So I'm fascinated right now.
Okay. So I woke up and I said I got COVID-24. You know that for the COVID, for the people that just needed the day off. So I had COVID-24, and I thought, okay, well then I looked in and I saw there was Fireball, and I was like, okay. It was like around 10:30.
You called off work today, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
he called off work. It's like he's cutting school.
Yeah. I put Ferris Bueller, but I had Ed in Columbus's day off. Yeah. So I just started drinking some Fireball. So I had about 3 shots of Fireball. This is before about noon today. And then I thought, oh my gosh, I got some White Claws in there. And I was like, you know what? I got to practice chugging because I thought I was going to chug tonight, but I didn't obviously make it. That's why I'm going with this. So I chugged 2 of them in about 20 minutes. So 10 minutes. It didn't take me 10 minutes to do it, but I waited 10 minutes in between. I did that. So about 20 minutes for the 2. And then it got to be about like 2:30. And I'm like, I'm pretty hammered. So then there was just about a half a shot of Fireball left, down that, and got me some Chipotle today. And I had a great day.
Wow.
Taking the Animal House advice.
Yes.
Advice, drinking heavily. Yeah.
So was
drinking.
I did listen. Now I want to tell the audience this. I listened to some boy bands today. I had some Backstreet going, some NSYNC, a little Big Time Rush, Catch and Blossom Music Center Friday.
Ed, did you tape yourself dancing during this?
I did make a video of me singing some Shawn Mendes.
Beautiful. Ed in Columbus is my favorite.
Was Kelly around when you were doing your day drinking, or were you by yourself?
I was by myself. Yes. I was by myself.
That's fascinating. Okay, how close are your neighbors to your house? Like, are they right on top of you?
It's a little bit farther than the standard. Our neighborhood's a little bit more spaced out than the average
So
neighborhood.
they're not like hearing you singing and all your bad music and stuff?
No, but no.
Hey, how you feeling now? Do you want White Castle?
No, you know what I could really go for though?
Some sliders? No, what do you
Taco
want?
Bell.
Taco Bell or sliders. One or the
I got
other.
my Mountain Dew ready.
Beautiful. I'm so proud of you.
I'm sorry I'm hijacking this whole spit sip.
No. Listen,
No,
I'm asking questions. I'm
beautiful.
fascinated.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what got over me. I just you know.
Just
and then the
a
Baker
promo.
news dropped. I knew something was going to happen. I just felt like something was going to happen today, and the Baker Mayfield news dropped.
Hey,
You know what? I was drunk.
Let me ask you something. You went on Barking Browns today, fucking shit-faced.
Legally, yes. Legally.
I love you. My favorite. And
I was screaming on the show. I was like, "Get us a ring!"
All right. Well, that is fascinating. I'm glad
Well
you
done.
day drink. Next time you day drink, though, please text me so I can witness because I want to be part of it.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. Here is question number 1 of Spit Sip Chug. I guess I'll start. Baker will sign a second contract with the Panthers.
Ooh. Who goes first?
You know what, Ed? We'll start with you.
I'm thankful that you are because when you just said that and it's just the reading of what you said. No, I'm gonna have to spit, I guess. So he will not sign yeah.
That's
I'm spitting. He's not gonna. No way in hell. They'll see enough of Baker this year. They'll see enough of him.
okay. We'll move on to Kevin.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with that. Looks like, I mean, definitely gonna go with Spit. I think that this is his last, and if you compare the two teams, I really think that Cleveland with the line and with their run first attitude, I think he's really gonna be challenging Darnold this year for who's gonna throw more interceptions compared to touchdowns. So I think it's gonna be a really tough year with Carolina, and they're picking up. They picked up Hollywood, so let's see how many games he decides he wants to participate in this year.
Whoa, that was good.
Wow. All right. And I definitely hear what you guys are saying, and I think I'm on the same. My brain's saying that, and I always overestimate Baker, but at the end of the day, Carolina has just been such a bad football team for so long. I think they're going to have a pulse this year. Sort of like he was playing with the bad Browns team in 2018, his first year, right? And he did enough to get us excited. I think he'll do enough in Carolina to get them excited. They'll go like 8-9 or something, and they'll probably give him like a 2 or 3 year deal.
Okay.
I'm Chug. Roger, go ahead and sip, and then you can talk for a little bit.
Spitting. I think Baker Mayfield, because he carries this persona, and then Ross the sock boss, who ain't, I miss Ross tonight. Ross, who ain't here tonight, is he gets a kick out of it that he needs this motivation. A number 1 overall pick needs this like crazy, motivation and a chip on his shoulder. And I think Baker Mayfield is headed to Pittsburgh. And I think the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think that's what I think he would do. I'm not saying that but that's something that he would do, his mentality. I don't think he'll play in Carolina past 1 year. So I spit on it.
All right. That would be, I think we'd all agree that would be a good thing if he ended up in Pittsburgh.
Now, do the Browns get any incentive if he plays really good, or is it?
He has to play over 70% of the snaps or something to help
and then
with the pick.
It upgrades to a 4th round pick.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not saying that's going to
geez.
happen, or it is just that's what his mentality is what I'm saying, Baker Mayfield.
Hey, all right. Remember that they said that Andrew Berry won't be able to get anything out of him. They're going to release him, and Andrew Berry's the best in the business. So we got it done.
And what I want to add to what I was about to say, because I always forget things. At the end of the day, you know how like when Butch Davis came to the Browns, like it fired up the Browns and they were all excited and we played really well. And then all of a sudden the team realized what an asshole Butch Davis is. And then he has spies in the locker room. Fuck this guy.
Yes.
And then it all went to shit. I kind of feel like that's Baker Mayfield. He's so passive aggressive. I think he'll do well initially because they'll buy in to his bullshit right away. I think they'll have some success this year. And
you know what was fired up, Andy? Was
What's
Butch
that?
Davis? Was Butch Davis? He had a heated driveway to come to Cleveland. His wife said he needed a heated driveway, so the Browns installed heaters underneath his driveway so it would melt the snow.
The Browns installed heaters in his driveway?
I don't know. They probably hooked him up with somebody that did. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It wasn't the guy cutting the grass. Oh, that'd be Baker. Never mind.
I'll run out there and do it for you.
All right. We're going to move on to question number 2. Kevin, you are going to start this time. The Cleveland Browns defense will come up big Week 1 against the Carolina Panthers?
Oh, I'm gonna definitely chug. Absolutely.
Is that Jameson?
What are you drinking in there?
What is
No,
it?
I got a growler, but I will not say of what because they are not a sponsor of the show. But
Oh.
definitely going to be a chug.
But it's beer?
Oh yes, oh yes.
What
Is it an
growler?
IPA?
Where'd you get it? I missed the growlers. They don't have them out here by me no more. I love the growlers. Yeah.
Oh, I this one.
What do you got though? What is that? What's in there?
It's a brand that you wouldn't have heard of. It's something that I brought back home from across the pond.
Oh,
And it's just
okay.
it's a really long dumb name that
Is it strong or is it?
it's kind of it's just it just tastes like home. That's the
Tastes
only
like
way I
home,
can
okay.
explain it. But it's
Well, you're gonna have to
It
send me
definitely-
some. I would love to try some of this.
absolutely.
Beer.
I'll send you all the information afterwards.
Okay,
But it's not
sorry. We
supposed to
love to
be-
interrupt people's flow on the dog chug. So I see alcohol though, and I gotta ask. Continue.
I forgot the question.
You were
Uh,
chugging, right?
No,
You're
the
talking-
defense. Yes, they're gonna absolutely. They're gonna they're gonna do great. But the funny thing is, I'd say I'm pro Browns everything. I say that regardless, we're going to either tie or lose because we have not won a Week 1 matchup since I was 10. I think we have not won a Week 1
Wow.
since I don't know
2004?
2000.
maybe yeah. So since I was
It
about
was
11.
in 03 with Jeff Garcia against the Ravens.
Okay.
Did I tell
I think
you?
Garcia was 05 or 04.
Oh, 04. I said
03.
04 originally. I said 04 originally.
Oh, okay.
Then nobody said anything, so I switched it.
me and Mike Crutchfield went to that game. Mike's been on the show a bunch.
20
of
to
times,
3.
and
We beat them.
I don't remember. I think I had people from work or whatever donate money in an envelope or whatever, like a lot of money. I mean, not a lot of money, like north of $100. And then the deal was, if they won, we got to open that bad boy up and go celebrate on town. And we had a blast that night. That was fun. I hope they
Get
win
it,
an
Andrew.
opener.
Get it.
All right.
Yeah, I remember us going to the Super Bowl year as I predict, and us opening up that home game against Tennessee. What was that? 43-13.
Oh.
So
We drove down.
but you know
that-
what? I'm predicting. I'm doing this prediction because every year I say it's going to be over. So now I'm playing the football gods and saying that the Browns are not. It's going to be. They're going to lose like 10-7. The offense is going to not have its identity, but the defense will come to play. Baker will be messed up, but Baker will have the last laugh because I'm usually wrong about every prediction I make. So chug.
There you go.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. One thing I'll say about Baker is, Roger.
No, go ahead, Andy. It's your turn.
One thing I'll say about Baker is, when it's a big, when he has a lot of doubters, or whatever, he goes crazy. And the Ohio State game when there was such a.
Why you got to bring that up?
Well, I'm just saying, like, there are moments where he wills his way to win, and he comes up big. That is not going to happen Week 1 against the Cleveland Browns. I think he'll be fine in this game, but ultimately, our defense, no one is coming out and defending Baker Mayfield. They are frustrated with him, and I think they are going to be the ones to come out and just ruin his first game with the Carolina Panthers. And ultimately, the game's going to come down to how our backup quarterback does. But our defense is going to feast. So I am chugging.
You know what's interesting? Maybe it'll be a similar game to when he dove for that first down and went crazy and did the first down against the Steelers and went nuts. And then we just didn't. What was that? 14-10 at home. Maybe we'll be the Steelers this time. Carolina.
I just want to win, so that sounds
Interesting
good
thought.
to me. Sounds good to me.
All right, Roger.
He's chugging. He's chugging.
Chugging. Wow, he has not sipped one.
Oh,
Whoa.
We're talking about a Cleveland Browns defense. Before all this happened, I had put a tweet out that said the Cleveland Browns are building a top 5 defense, because if they have to go with Baker Mayfield in 2022, they're going to need a top 5 defense, because if you can hold the team under 17 points per game, Baker Mayfield could probably get you a W. They're still on that trajectory on defense, and then they go turn around and they add a top 5 quarterback to that mix. If this defense, the Browns defense has more talent on every level than Baker Mayfield has. They've practiced against him for 2 years, some of them. 1 year for most
interesting.
that are going to be starting out there. J.J. Johnson can't stand him with every bone in his fucking body. I got Johnson picking him off twice. I got the Cleveland Browns. I got Myles Garrett pulling him down to the ground 3 times. They practiced with him. You think he's going to roll right against Jadeveon Clowney? He's not going to do that. I got the Cleveland Browns smothering them. I'm not afraid of Baker Mayfield against this defense. I think Joe Woods got an email today. He pulled up his laptop. He got to work. He said, first email said, "You better not fucking lose that first game against Baker Mayfield." Because we're trading.
Who's the email from?
And I don't think the Cleveland Browns are afraid of Baker Mayfield, because they just traded him to Carolina Panthers. I think if we run the Wildcat, we should win that fucking football game.
Wow.
Because we invested $230 million and our fucking souls into this.
Who sent Woods the email, and was he a Nazi or she?
What? Say that again, Andy?
Who sent Woods the email that you better fucking win? Was she a Nazi?
Haslam, DePodesta, Barry, Stefanski, and the guy that mops the fucking showers. All of them. Everybody.
Did they all send an email together, or did they all individually?
Together. It was a BCC or whatever the fuck it is. It was a group. It was an email. Everybody across the board. The homeless guy in front of the terminal tower that I talked about earlier. He got Joe Woods got an email today that said, "You better not lose to Baker Mayfield." If we lose to Baker Mayfield week 1, Andy, I'm just deleting everything. Facebook, everything. All of it. I'm deleting fucking everything. And I'm gonna take up soccer.
Will he be fired if we lose to Baker Mayfield?
Will I be pissed?
No, will Joe Woods retain his position with the Cleveland Browns?
Okay, yeah, they're not going to fire him week 1. His defensive coordinator, they're not going to fire him week 1.
Sounds like they're sending him email.
His days will be numbered.
All right, fair enough. Ed.
Well, I'm chugging, but I got some interesting comments here. First thing I want to say, Rodgers got me so scared what's going to happen to Baker Mayfield that wearing this number 6 jersey or the shirt myself, I'm about to take it off because the things that you're talking about, 3 times getting pulled down by Myles Garrett and all that stuff. So I'm kind of scared. Another thing too, Roger, what's kind of got me concerned is your email chains and everything like that. Is that Hunter Biden's laptop that you're getting that information from? So that's another question I have. And yeah, I think Chug. I think the Browns have a great defense, and I think that as last year proved, when they were out of place and out of position in the early weeks, like when they went to the Chargers and got burned in the secondary, you know, by that Williams guy twice. You know, it was just because the guys didn't know where they needed to be. This team now knows where they need to be in the 4-2-5 defense, which is an exotic defense. So I definitely expect them to pick up where they left off in the last 5 games, especially where they were dominant. And I think they will be a top 5 defense.
Yeah. All right. You know what? May I say, you know what? When Joe Woods would always talk, he would say, well, we're going to feed them a little bit at a time, so we don't overwhelm them. Throw the whole book at them, see what fucking sticks, and let them do what they do best. Coromol and Delpit blitz the quarterback. Send them after Baker Mayfield week 1. You know what I mean? And just don't feed, just throw the whole book at them and let them see what sticks and go with that. And let them play football. Let them play fucking football. And Joe Woods is my biggest thing with the Cleveland Browns. He has all the talent in the world on that defense, except for a defensive tackle. That's the only thing that scares me with the defense. Other than that, there's elite talent on every level.
Yeah, do the Panthers still have McCafferty?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
He's healthy for now.
For now, yeah.
That's what I'll say for my prediction. Going back, if we go back to play this tape, just that was the first thing I thought of. That it is a possibility. But
yeah, I mean,
no
look,
Brownies.
in the NFL, every game is close. Week 1 is always very scary because it's not very indicative of what if there's going to be an upset, it's going to be in week 1. And look at how many times that the early Browns in the 2000s, they would lose to like the Colts 9-6, or even when they played the Saints. It's always good for the underdog.
18 years though, we've been upset. I mean, what is wrong with us? We can't get it together to start the season. It doesn't make sense. It's like, I'm tired of it. It's been a
we
frustrating
should win. I mean,
day.
I think even with Jacoby Brissett, the Browns are a better roster than Carolina. We should win the game, but it is a National Football League. If McCaffrey gets hot and Baker's just doing screen passes and he runs wild, and for some reason we don't get our offense going, because look, if we're kicking field goals instead of Stefanski never goes for field goals. So never mind. Maybe with Cade York we'll actually go for field goals because we leave a lot of points on. Off the board in the first half, especially of games where I wish that Stefanski would actually, get the 3 points. Maybe, there's 6 points like every game. If you look at it, it's like, why do you always go for it right away? Then you're chasing points. I don't like that. Never have been.
They have talent on offense. The Panthers have talent on offense. We're getting them week 1 where they should be healthy, barring any injury in training camp. McCaffrey, I mean, he's a weapon. He's a talent. So Mayfield will have talent, but he's had talent around him here in Cleveland. But on the other hand, he's made guys like Brashard Perryman look like fucking Pro Bowlers. So, you know what I mean? It's up to but they have an offensive line that's ranked.
Their offensive line's ranked like 25th. Yeah, they're bad.
Let's see how Mayfield does behind that offensive line, and that'll be the key. But he does have talent around him. But I don't give a shit. Joe Woods better not lose to Baker Mayfield week fucking 1.
Jimmy Haslam wouldn't allow that. Jimmy Haslam would not allow that.
Is Kelly around, by the way, Ed?
No, she's not. She's with her sister.
And I'll ask you this question. How many passes will be batted down on the line of scrimmage from the defense against Baker Mayfield?
The same number as our quarterback in Cleveland.
6. Oh.
4. Get used to the new quarterback eventually, Andy. I know our minds are trained that we ride with 6, but
I have an interesting.
I think you were talking about his number.
Do a poll, but go ahead, Andy. Continue with talk. I'll talk later. No. Go ahead. It just ain't related. Never mind.
I made my point. Will Odell Beckham Jr. sign with Carolina now?
That's funny. No, that was good. Maybe he'll sign in Cleveland. Wouldn't be ready before November.
How about
what do you got?
How uncomfortable is that? Higgins turned on him. He took OBJ's side, and Higgins is in Carolina. How's that? They're gonna room together. You think Higgins said, "Hey, come crash in my pad," like Baker actually took him in over there at Wesley. So I'd love to see that.
All right,
Andy.
Okay, the over/under on the Carolina Panthers is currently at 6 wins. The smart money is taking the over. I'm going to start on this one, and I've already kind of said I think Baker's going to have a relatively successful season, so I'm just going to chug. I think they will win more than 6 games this season. Roger.
Will the Browns win more than 6 games?
The Carolina Panthers over/under is at 6 wins. So the smart money is that they'll have over.
Yeah, I think they will. I'm gonna chug on that. They will have over. I'm gonna take.
You are such a Baker cuck. God. All right, Ed.
I'm okay. So I'm gonna actually sip on it. Here's why. I think they win 6 games exactly. So I don't think it's an over and under. I think it's a push. I think they win 6 games.
Look at the division.
I can
put the 4 of us can get the 4 of us can get what 8 more guys, and we're fucking in there, right? 7 more guys, and we could.
And I am going to.
Oh, he's saying
under 6 wins, and they will still beat us week 1.
Whoa!
They kept.
They're
Look,
going,
I'm sitting here looking at you. You look like
they're
the.
going 4
I
and 12
guarantee
on-
it. These past 2 years, I haven't been right about one game, including the playoffs. I haven't gotten one game correct. Every team that I predict, they lose. So I am saying right now, Carolina,
Yes, and you keep saying
2
that.
wins.
Keep saying it.
They will have 2 wins, and one of them will be against us, week 1. So
First of all, I think we asked this question during Spit Sip Chug on an earlier week, like how many Browns fans will be rooting for Carolina in this game? Because everyone wants to be right, and they've had this opinion about Baker for a long time. So it's like if the Carolina Panthers win this game, they get to go on Twitter and crow about it for a while, which is so stupid. You're a fan of a football team.
Oklahoma Panthers, Jesus.
Well, yeah, but there's guys I know that are so pissed off we signed Deshaun and didn't give Baker another chance. They want to see Baker win. Just
you want to call him a cuck, Andy. You want to call him a cuck.
Yeah, no, they are cucks.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Good. I love it when somebody else says it.
The point I want to make is like, regardless if the Browns with their backup win or lose this first fucking game, it doesn't mean anything about whether Baker leaving is going to be a mistake or whether it was good. It's just going to be a stupid, annoying week on Twitter. That's all it is. I don't care what happens week 1 as far as like this war, the Baker wars. So shut the fuck up.
Andy, I'm there for it. I love drama.
It's going to be so bad. It's going to be so bad going into week 1. Did you read the article today? And the guy Tony, our guest that was on here from all sides, and he said everybody other than Misfits and Baker Bros in his article that he wrote. Yes,
I saw that.
Said,
I did see that. Tony
and
Battaglia, we love
Misfits and the Baker, and I'm in the middle of all of it. I'm the guy. Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the final, not question, because it's a statement of Spit Sip Chug. Imminently, Baker Mayfield's going to come out in some way and publicly trash the city of Cleveland. Roger will start with you.
Who's first? Me?
You are first. Let's go.
You know what? I haven't sipped all day. I'm going to sip on it.
You had to get one in at least.
I think Baker Mayfield, I think individually and maybe on Twitter where he'll crush somebody because he can't help himself, or Instagram or whatever it is. But I think as a whole, his representation, his PR people will keep him away from that. I don't think he'll crush the fan base. I don't. He needs to build his image back up, is what I think.
All right. Very eloquently said, Dan. Good job. Ed?
Damn it, Andy. That was funny.
That was good.
Honestly, I'm not going to speak like Dan just spoke, but I will sip because I do think he will inadvertently say something that either gets misconstrued or kind of can be looked at as a slam on Cleveland when it might be just about the team or whatever. But anything about Cleveland or the Browns will be lumped in the same category, and he'll get and that's the reason why I'm sipping. And I'm done.
All right. Kevin.
Yeah, I think. But I think it's going to happen. On him, I think it I mean, there was just so much that happened that I think he's just, he likes the drama. As we said, he's the underdog. I think he'll pop up, say something about the locker room or about the coaches, or he'll give us step fire for that week 1 matchup, and he's going to give his side to everything, and maybe even just could even be just to our media personalities, but he's going to say something about the city, and it's going to be negative. So, but maybe he'll hold off after week 1, just for me all together, and he doesn't get asked a question until week 1. I think he's going to say something. What do you think, Andy?
Well, I think we have multiple Dans this week. Your internet was kind of cutting in and out a little bit there, but I think we got the gist. I am actually going to on this one because ultimately Baker, I mean, he hated Hugh Jackson, and I don't think he really said anything direct about his hatred of Hugh Jackson. It's all passive aggressive bullshit. He'll let it be known that he was miserable here, but he's not going to come out and say like, Carolina is a better city than Cleveland. He's going to say the right things. Goodbye, Cleveland. It was great being here. He's trying to rebuild his image, like Roger said. I think he will continue his passive aggressiveness. Maybe he'll say something about Andrew Berry and that the Browns let, whatever, doubted him. But the fan base, I don't think he's not going to kill us, attack us, say anything negative about. He liked his time in Cleveland. That will continue. That's what I think. So I spit, and that does it. Another great edition of Spit Sip Chug.
Andy, I just thought of it because you described Baker Mayfield there, and I want to do a bonus spit chug, and I want to go first. I'm chugging on this. And my statement is this: Baker Mayfield is petty and like a child on Twitter, like Ed in Columbus, and I'm chugging on that.
Salute, Ed.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Jay.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that, except Ed in Columbus can say anything he wants on Twitter and no one fucking cares. Whereas if Baker just says one little tiny microcosmic thing, everyone implodes and goes crazy.
Andy, I have an allegiance to the Big Kevin's army, and I don't exactly like what you're saying right now, and I may just preemptively have to take out the mansions.
It's true because I don't know who has that Big Heavens Army account, but they are big Ed supporters, and as this show has gone on, I've become less and less. So,
fair enough.
I'm just saying it. We have called D. Haslam a Nazi multiple times on the show, and nothing has happened because no one's watching.
That's true. That's the numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie.
You
know what though? I want to say this. I want to say we're huge. Offside Sports Network is huge, and Dawg Chug's going places.
That's right. If what would happen if Baker Mayfield called one of the owners of Cleveland a Nazi?
Andy sent me an idea for top 10 today, and like everything that I tried to think of today revolved around a number 2. Who could be the fucking Nazi?
Well, I mean, the soup Nazi was on Seinfeld. I mean, maybe there's somebody. I mean, it's a term that gets thrown out.
I tried to put together that Andy said, how about the top 10 dumbest things Browns fans are saying after the Baker Mayfield trade today? And I grabbed like 6 of them, but like my mind wasn't there like to come up with anything that was good. And I took screenshots of like 6 crazy fucking things today that people said.
Man, Pumpkinhead Carolina guy now. He might be going down there and making a little Carolina pumpkin.
We got a friend, a friend of ours that named his son after Baker, but he lives in the Carolinas. And I want to know the over and under on when he's going to post a picture of him and his kid in the Baker Mayfield Carolina.
You're not getting me involved, Roger. I made peace with this person.
I don't blame him. He lives there. They need the support.
Can't believe another $110 jersey I just have to not wear anymore. That's good. Thanks, Browns. Thanks, organization. Get your shit together. Jesus Christ. On the cross. Another jersey down.
Jessica does point out.
You know what I love about today? Is the Baker Mayfield trade as completely just smothered that the Guardians just lost like 3 in a row. And I love baseball. And I'm like, thank God. Because if not, people would be losing their minds over a bunch of young kids trying to play against grown men learning how to play the game of fucking baseball. And losing their minds every day. There's 162 fucking games. Settle down.
Listen, we're going to talk about that in a minute, actually.
Yeah.
I do want to point out, though, maybe I'm a cuck for this, but like I enjoyed Baker for 4 years here. There were some great moments. There were some low moments for sure. I think he is his own worst enemy, and a lot of this was his own fault. But I will definitely enjoy watching Carolina succeed potentially. as long as he doesn't shit on the city, that would piss me off. But I don't think he's going to do that. So I'm going to continue rooting for him in his career for continued success. But I am ultimately rooting for the Browns. So week 1, you're going to have to die, Baker. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I want to say this. I know I'm a Baker hater, but I want to say thank you, Baker Mayfield. You made Cleveland fun. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Ever since Johnny Manziel, the Browns are the greatest sports franchise when it comes to entertainment. They are like the WWE of all sports. They've had so much drama, whether it be Bottlegate, whether it be this, that, the other. They are so much fun. I love the Cleveland Browns, and he was a part of it. He was like the John Cena of Cleveland sports quarterbacks. I got to give him love for that. You entertain me. Good luck, but I can't wait to kick your ass in week 1.
Yeah, thank you, Baker, for everything. Now you've moved on, but as the former president would say, we wish him well. Regardless of who he was talking about.
Yes.
He was like, what about Hillary and stuff? Just one of those rich guys that just aren't listening to the question. Oh, I wish her well. It's just something. It's like, you know what? It's over. We had this on for the past couple months. Wish him well.
Before Twitter, there was just sports talk radio. And I was in my 20s, 19, 18 years old. And like when Bernie look at Brian Sipes' career with the Cleveland Browns. When they drafted him, Mike Phipps, they bounced back and forth. Brian Sipes had one good year, and he won the MVP in the NFL. And he had one good year. And he took us to a divisional round playoff, and he lost to Oakland, and we revere Brian Sipes like he was a god. Baker Mayfield actually won a playoff game. I know that by the way I am, I'll poke fun at things, and like my Sam Darnold stupid dumb tweet today. And but Baker Mayfield actually, I think in time, Browns fans will like just look back at Baker Mayfield that was the turning point of because he did more than Brian Sipes actually did for the organization. Because Brian Sipes left to go to and I remember when Sipes left and the Generals and the USFL started up, and the hate that he got on talk radio with guys like Munch and Roadman and those guys back in the day when there was no social media. So nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. It's just a different format.
Yeah,
well
and Baker statistically is the Browns' 4th best quarterback in team history. So, but back in the day, we were mostly running the ball, but it's just a fact. Wins, throwing touchdowns, interceptions. He's a top 5 best QB, and he won.
He did a lot for this franchise. He turned us around when we were at our lowest.
First playoff game that Thursday night against the Jets.
I was going to put a poll. I was going to put a poll up today. Does Baker Mayfield deserve to be on the jersey with the scratch mark through it? And I don't think he does. I don't think he does. You know what I mean? Because it was the beginning of something that should be, because we paid, like I said, our souls at $230 million guaranteed of something great. And it was the turning point.
Well, Roger, I didn't put my soul on that. Jimmy Haslam gave him $230 million, and a lot of people want to say that we sold.
I know, but we sold our souls. We sold our souls for
people don't think I have a soul, Roger. I'm okay.
I know, me neither. I'm just saying, man.
He doesn't deserve to be on the jersey of failed quarterbacks because he didn't fail. He didn't suck as quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Ultimately, it didn't work out, and it had a disappointing ending. But there were some great times. And we finally felt respectable. Yeah. We want more, though. And we upgraded to get more. Ed, what do we want to get?
We want to win a ring.
When do we want to win it?
Now.
Well, we're not going to win it now because he's going to be suspended 8 games. But
next year.
How
about a division title first?
That'll work.
Yeah. I just want to I want to host a playoff game in Cleveland. That is where the bar is.
Yeah.
If we can do that, I am going to be thrilled out of my mind, and that'll be the most fun.
And probably pretty drunk.
I'll be very drunk. Ed, will you come to that game with me?
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely.
I'm meeting in the parking lot before it.
Roger, you brought up a really good point, and this is something that has just infuriated me. And I know you're right; it got covered up a little bit because of a big domino finally fell with the Browns. This is ultimately a Browns town, and it is a Browns town because these fans don't fucking know how to talk baseball. It pisses me off. The team should go fucking move to a new city. We do not deserve to have the Indians or the Guardians here because our fans are so fucking stupid. Everyone was getting carried away, so excited when they were playing awesome out of their mind, winning these exciting games late. Just last week, I was unfortunately not on the show because of my meth issue, but my future self got to watch, this insane comeback. Josh Naylor, one of my favorite players. Then we get just, what did we get? Swept in a 4-game series against the Tigers.
Yeah.
We got destroyed every game. Obviously, that sucks. I hate Detroit. I hate the Tigers. I never want to lose against them. But the point is, this season is not about winning or losing. And I know Ed's going to call me a cuck for saying that because it's always about winning or losing. But we are a tiny payroll team. We cannot win every year. You have to be smart. We have to have windows. And we need to figure out which of these young guys can play. This team.
Andy, you are not a cuck. You are not a cuck for what you said. Here's why. Because the people that you're talking about, that are talking about the Guardians and the way that they're talking about it, let's be real. It's Twitter. Most of the people don't think like that. It's just it's the crazies on Twitter, the casuals that want to come in there and say, oh, this team sucks and this sucks. Most people in Northeast Ohio know this team is rebuilding and competing at the same time. So I think you're absolutely right. I just think the scope of your sample size is those guys are the cuck. Those are the cucks, not you, Andy.
It actually goes beyond just Twitter, though. Like, I have so many friends that just are constantly texting in text groups. These guys suck. This team's terrible. It's so frustrating. We are the youngest team, and it's not an excuse. It's just a reality.
AAA, not just Major League Baseball. The Guardians will be the youngest in AAA.
And I just read a tweet earlier today, and I wish I could look it up. It would have been cool. I'd have had it ready for you guys. But ultimately, the point was, like, out of all of our top 10 prospects, Stephen Kwan was like the 11th prospect, and he's the only one that is up so far. So we have 10 guys, presumably as good or better than Stephen Kwan, that are ready to come up very shortly. We have to find out who can play, who can be traded, who needs to be cut. Like, that's what the season's about. If they win, that's a bonus, and that's great. And I love watching them win. And when they win, it is so exciting because I'm like, do you guys know how horrible it was to watch Indians games the last couple seasons? Because they were going nowhere. They were just circling the drain, pretending they're not good enough, and we should keep Lindor. Finally, they've made a lot of moves. They are ready to rise. Unfortunately, when you're starving and you put your food in the oven, you got to wait for it to heat up, and then you got to wait for the food to bake. That's what this season's all about. We're going to be great. It's going to happen. Be fucking patient and stop bitching. They're going to play awesome this week, and then they're going to get swept by the Tigers next week. But they'll be back in another week, and you'll get all overwhelmed, and you'll be like, oh, they're going to the playoffs. Shut the fuck up. Just enjoy the ride. So,
Andy, I always make clips of myself because I love me some me. That's a clip right there. That's a clip. That's a good rant.
Try not to get any of my cursing on, though.
I'll make sure it's clean. I'll make sure it's clean.
Give us a Guardians stick, Kevin. I'm going to go last. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. There's going to be ups and downs to seasons, and, we got caught sleeping in Detroit. We got tons of young prospects, and they're not going to be at their peak potential until age 27 to 32. I mean, that's just how baseball works. And with all these young prospects, they don't have any big league experience. And, and the team's trying to build. We signed Oscar, I saw the other day. Oscar's back in town. Mercado, right?
Yeah, Mercado.
Yeah.
And it's a matter. You can't base every single day on, they lost, dumb statues. Chief, where's Chief Wahoo? All that stuff. Just shut up. But be a fan or not. It's the same. I mean, it's a very Cleveland Twitter thing. It's the same way with when the Browns win, or if it's a Super Bowl, like, just cut everyone. Why did they re-sign him? Same thing. It's the same team on both. And then it's same with Cavs Twitter. Oh my God. I mean, Twitter's just awful. We should all just get off Twitter.
And I want to make one more point. Sorry for monopolizing all the time here, but you look at last year's Cavs team, and they were a young team, just like the Guardians are now, that wanted to prove themselves, and they put so much effort early on in the season. Every day they all brought the intensity. They killed themselves and I think basketball is a sport where like most teams are kind of just like wait until post February to really start trying very hard. You got to warm up. Is the reality of it. So Cavs were bringing it every night, and we were having so many exciting games. They were beating teams they weren't supposed to beat. They would be like 8.5 point underdogs, and they would like win by 13. It was amazing. And then what happened?
The Cavalanche.
Yeah, they put all their effort way on the early part of the season, so that when it got to the time you're supposed to perform, they were worn out, and all the other teams were suddenly trying, and obviously injuries played into it too, but they didn't realize, like, hey, you got to save some in the tank for a little bit later. Like, it's not about winning every game is probably a reality. Like, you saw so many games, LeBron, one of the best players in the game, just looked like he didn't fucking care to be on the court on any given night. It was frustrating to watch. I loved watching these Cavaliers, but point is, going through that experience, I guarantee the Cavaliers are going to make the adjustment where they're going to probably save some in the tank for when they need it. And I'm here for it because I think this team is special. Guardians are going to be the same. Sorry, Roger, you were going to say something.
I just, you know what, man, I love the game of baseball. I think it's the hardest game. The deal saying if it's easy, everybody would do it. I think you could take some of the top athletes in basketball or some of the top athletes in the Major League Baseball, put them in the NBA or put them in the NFL and they can perform. But you take one of those guys and put them at the plate and throw a 90-mile-an-hour fastball at them or a 80-mile-an-hour slider, and they're not going to hit the
Michael Jordan.
The hardest game is the most exactly. Michael Jordan's a great example of that. The Guardians, I've really never followed AA, AAA, or minor league baseball when I was younger, and then I moved to Cuyahoga Falls, and I got my Akron baseball.
Quackrin.
And only because I'm not a prayer person, but the people of Akron need your thoughts tonight, and this weekend after what has happened. And I'm a big minor league. I'm more into the minor league. And I knew what was coming with these young baseball players. We just went to a game where we watched Bo Naylor before he got moved up to Columbus. And it was like men against boys. And I know the talent that's in this line. And there's 162 games. And if you're going to sit – you know what? I want to give out a shout out to a guy named Arthur that's on Guardians Twitter and a big Guardians fan. And I said, you're going to give yourself a heart attack if you keep reacting every night. This team's young. They're going to go through swings of winning 7 out of 10, and they're going to go through swings where they win 3 out of 10, and they're going to hit a brick wall just like our Cavaliers did. But the future is bright with both the Cavaliers. But the future is bright in Guardians baseball. We have a logjam right now, and with the Rule 5 and COVID screwed a lot of things up. And people want to fire Tito Francona. Are you out of your? If it wasn't for Tito Francona right now, we'd be 20-56 or whatever the fuck it would be right now. I would take Tito Francona, any other manager that's in baseball over the last decade. Because he's managed these young guys. He's figuring out their positions. They have a logjam with the rule. They can only protect 40. Kevin Sleds and a guy named Jeremy Lawless, the guys on
Media.
Baseball, to follow minor league. I try to keep up with them. They teach me about baseball. And right now they're trying to figure out who they're going to keep, who they can protect, and who they can't out of a 40-man, I believe it is, roster. And people want to fire Tito Francona. Get the fuck out of here. If it wasn't for Tito right now, we wouldn't have exciting baseball. And that's what I see when I watch them. And it's exciting games. When they lose, you take it in stride. They're going to beat our team because we got the Twins number. Detroit's got our number. Like, we have the Twins number. We can just beat them. The Twins got far more talent on that ball club, but we can beat them. And right now, the White Sox in the Central are to decide. We face them in Kansas City. before we go into the All-Star break.
Roger, do you know whose number 867-5309?
Jenny's number is
Okay, just
5309. I've been a Cleveland Indians fan since John Lowenstein played shortstop and Buddy Bell played third base. And baseball is a game that there's no clock and it's over when it's over. And if you lose your mind every night over the course from April to the end of September, then you're just going to drive yourself nuts. Just enjoy the game of baseball. And right now, like Andy said, this young team, the future is bright in Cleveland Guardians baseball.
Huge future. Huge.
Huge. Dance,
Well,
Ed. Dance, Ed.
Yeah, can you dance a little bit for us? Get the energy going.
Come on, Ed. Give us a dance.
Huge dancing moves.
11 minutes. Kevin.
It's so funny when you start doing that. I can watch the people dropping off. Like we just went
Yes.
from 3 to 1. That's so cool.
They can dance. I love his dancing.
I told my mom she's got to watch the whole thing this time, and she couldn't even do it.
How's Terry doing?
Who?
Your father-in-law.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's fine. Oh, down in Florida. Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. He loves me still. Shout out to him.
Right.
Shout out
Oh.
to Terry.
We got I forgot to do this the last couple of weeks. One, I was out for the meth thing, but we got to eliminate a couple people that can win our
Oh, yeah.
contest. So the question is, can I find it? And now I got to go to here.
Oh, shout out to Kyle at More For You Cleveland. Big supporter of the Dawg Chug. So shout out to Kyle.
Hey, did you guys catch the McNeil thing today on Spectrum News? He
Yeah.
had an interview.
I saw that you had
I love
tweeted to him.
McNeil,
I saw
man.
that you tweeted.
He had a big interview on Spectrum One, and I was against his parade, but I love McNeil. But I'm an old grumpy fuck, so it don't
I was
matter.
for the parade and I was a part of it. So yeah, McNeil's
Nice.
But he did a good interview on Spectrum One News. It was awesome, man. Really good, man.
Yeah, as soon as I saw your reply. Oh.
What is this? Uh-oh.
So we got to
This is cool.
eliminate, I think 3 people.
I've been eliminated, I think.
Ed, you are
Hey.
the only one that's been
Hey,
eliminated.
I vote now
Here,
you
let me
take
read it.
Papa Nick out of the wheel. Ooh.
What's that?
I think you should take Papa Nick out of the wheel.
Why
And,
is that?
let him put him up against the last person.
Oh, yeah, that'd be really cool. But we'll just,
Who did it
it's
land
meant to
on?
be able to do. Yeah, I don't want to.
Oh, always positive.
Okay, so we got to eliminate 3 people right now. So we're going to do this 3 times. This is pretty exciting. The winner of this, we have, I got to tell you who's left. Jacob's left. Jess, our biggest fan. Mick from Australia. Mike Crutchfield, my college buddy. Ross, the sock boss. Colin, Kelly, Nick Carnes. Dan, who
Nicky.
didn't survive his show. He passed out. Papa Mick, Noodle, and always positive Jay. So,
We got to catch up.
Kevin, why don't you tell us when to stop?
Now.
Ooh, Mick is not going to be making the journey from Australia
Oh,
to
Mick.
Cleveland. That sucks.
That's what you get for having a racist name.
Is Mick still coming up? Uh-oh. Yes. I got to hold on.
Hey,
Let me
I'm
do this
sorry to
correctly.
hear you're not going to make the trip.
Well, you could still come up though. In fact,
Yes,
I'll
no-
tell you what. If
can't
you come
wait.
up from Australia, I know he's watching his big fan show.
Can't wait.
If you make your way to Australia, I will bring you to a Browns game.
Yes.
That's guaranteed.
And I will watch
Hey,
Crocodile Dundee with you. I will
I
watch.
sleep on my couch, and I still got the Vegemite up here somewhere. There it is. I still can feed him. Still can feed
Okay.
him.
We got 2 more names to eliminate. This is exciting. Our remaining contestants have a really good chance of winning right now. I think it's like 1 out of 11.
I'm out
So,
of beer.
Kevin, whenever you say stop, I'll do the best job I can. Don't forget, I've had about 5 beers, so might be a second up. You
Stop.
tell me when. Oh, Kelly! Wow, Eddie, you were like the first
Bummer.
2
We
of the
had
first 3 to
plans.
get eliminated.
That's a bummer. We had plans.
I won't
don't
go into the whole rigged conspiracies. I'm not gonna do it. Not tonight. Not tonight.
Me and Keller are going to see some bar bands. You're going to see a Kiss tribute band if she came up. Damn it.
All right. Jess, you still have a chance. All right. One more. Oh. Hold on. What's going on here?
What's going on?
Okay. I don't know why. You just tell me to stop. I'll move it over.
Say it.
3, 2, 1, stop.
Oh.
Always positive. Jay is eliminated.
So it seems like a negative to me if you were him. I mean, so.
Yeah.
I'm bummed out because all positive Jay brings the party. He brings the party with him when he shows up.
He does.
Me and Jay have been talking, and we think when during tailgating we might
Damn it.
we might have a little bit of fun. We might be going around interviewing people,
I could see that happening. That would be fun. That would be cool.
and I'm hoping I can do some challenge some fans to some chugs while we're at the tailgate. And my goal, and I don't know if this would happen, but if it's the Pittsburgh Steelers game, then I would want to challenge Pittsburgh Steelers fans to do some chugs. Like, we'll come in with like 6 different kinds of chugs, like chugging a pint, chugging a bottle, chugging, doing a Smirnoff Ice where you got to get down on one knee, glass of wine, like 6 different things. And we'll go to 6 Steeler fans and I'll challenge them to one individual thing, and we'll make a big video. That should be awesome.
You should challenge them to a toothbrushing contest.
I think we can get that together. Yeah.
Do a toothbrush contest. They wouldn't know how to
Are you
use
pointing
it.
out that they don't have teeth, Ed? Is that the whole point?
Yes.
Wouldn't they be able to beat me faster because they have less teeth?
No, because they wouldn't know how to put the toothpaste on the toothbrush because they wouldn't know what the toothbrush is.
So you're saying not to like brush your teeth, but to actually like challenge them?
No, well, I mean, the skill would be actually brushing your teeth, but you're right. Since they only got one tooth, you would think they would win. But the fact is they don't know how to use the equipment and because they don't ever use them. I think that would give you the advantage.
When we host the playoff game and you're my guest to come to the game, we're going to challenge a Steeler fan to that.
I'll probably get punched, but oh well.
With Steeler, now how are Steelers their mothers and their brothers or their fathers? How does that work out? You guys
it makes it
now?
easier for Ancestry.com.
Ed, when I was like 23 years old, I had somebody hit me in the jaw with a baseball bat, knocked off all my teeth right here. They're all gone. And I think we broke up a fight. A dude was beating a girl up. We jumped out of our car and broke it up. She went in her house. And she come back out and she had a baseball bat. And I thought she was going to beat up the dude that was her boyfriend that was beating her up. And she hit me in the jaw. I think she had a Steelers shirt on.
Oh my! How many teeth did you lose in this?
4 of them across the top. I used to wear a bridge.
I'm very dainty.
Hit me right in the jaw. Broke my jaw. We went to Bob's Big Boy in Lakewood afterwards. I had gauze stuffed in there. I drank a milkshake and tried to eat French fries. And then my friends are like, "You need to go to the hospital." They broke my jaw. We tried to save her, and she comes down the steps. It was on 85th.
Well, how ungrateful! Just like you, Baker Mayfield.
It was a house on the corner of 85th and Lorraine Avenue. It was like 1991. She broke my jaw.
How dare you, Roger, for thinking she needed to be saved because she's a woman? And
right.
All women need to be
this
saved.
Dude was like he wasn't like
sexist.
He was like hit. We jumped out of the car.
How do you know, woman?
Hey, my buddy started beating the shit out of him, and I'm standing at the bottom of her stairs, and I'm like, I see her coming in the house with the ball bat. I'm like, hey guys, she's gonna hit him with. All of a sudden, she hit me in the side of the fucking. Broke my jaw.
Right.
Snapped out 4 teeth.
So here's what's gonna happen.
That's why I know 30 women that'll flim flam you. That's the kind of neighborhood I grew up in.
All right, Roger, you're always asking what you can do for the show. So from now on, every week, we're going to do a 5-minute segment where Roger tells a story about his past.
Oh, I got stories.
Yes.
You really want to know the stories I got. Hey, Kev, run a background check.
Roger.
I got some fucking stories.
Roger, as long as they're past the statute of limitations, feel free to tell us.
Everything I've done in my past is past the statute of limitations. I can talk freely about it. Unless it's somebody from the neighborhood, I'm not giving names.
Audience, it's the dead season. There's nothing going on. So please tune in next week to hear a crazy story from Rogers past.
Crazy story. I'll tell you some crazy stories.
No, I mean prepare a story for next week because we're gonna unveil a new segment.
Hey, I once knew a guy that robbed a bank
really?
in Lakewood on 117th in Clifton, and he went in there. He was so nervous because the guy next to him, he wrote his real name on it, like he was filling out a receipt to take money out of the bank. And when the guy walked away, he flipped it over and wrote the robbery note, and he gave it to the teller, but his name was on the back of it. He wrote the name. His name was Coco. Joe Gibbs. His name was Gibbs. I play softball with him. I know some crazy stories, let me tell you.
This was alleged. We don't know that this happened. Steve is not a Nazi, by the way. I just want to point that out. Kevin, are we going to be singing tonight?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's a singing kind of night. I think I'm really excited for the Rogers segment every week. I think it should be done every 30th minute interval. I mean, those two alone are my interest.
Someday I'm going to write a book.
You're going to spend your load.
Save it for content. Save it for content.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. We're gonna increase our viewership to 10 because you're gonna have some epic stories.
Oh, Big Kev Army's coming. You'll see.
Give us a good one next week, please. All right. Well, I think that's gonna wrap it up tonight. Does anyone have any final comments? Anything that we didn't say that needs to be said?
I hope the Browns win. Sorry. I hope the Browns win a week 1, and I will not be riding with 6 again. Sorry. So this gets retired as of tonight. So, but thank you, Baker Mayfield, and don't kill me on Twitter, people, because I know you think I'm a Baker hater, and maybe I am.
I think I said enough tonight.
I know.
I'm out of here. The cooler's empty. I said enough.
I can verify only 5 of Ed's 12 personalities hate Baker. The other 7, 2 of them are confused. The other 5 think he's okay.
We got border personalities, and then there's some infighting. And hey, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I would say that's 5's about accurate. I might have 13 personalities, so I think I've discovered a new one.
It's because of the spaces.
They bring out a lot of different energy and juice, and I may have manufactured one myself, I think. But it was made in America. Made in America.
I just want to thank you, lads, for having me on. Always a pleasure being on the Dawg Chug. No, the Tigers swept us, but Michigan still sucks.
Hey,
Talking to you, Roger.
Kev, tell us what you're up to today. I know you're doing some writing. Give us a little plug.
Yeah.
What are you up to? What are you writing? Where are you involved at?
Check out everything, BigKevinSports.com, Facebook.com/BigKevinSports. Go check out some of the articles over at Northeast Ohio Sports Insiders. I have a couple articles up there. I'm really excited for training camp coming up. Excited with my Browns backers family and the Beauty Lab backers, and definitely excited to go wherever you guys are going. You know, that West Summit thing I've never understood because I've just been a Muni person my whole life, but we'll definitely catch a game together, you guys, and you guys can see how tall and gigantic I am. It's hard to tell from the camera, but I am huge, but
huge.
But I am a sweet boy.
I follow you on Facebook. You're all over the place. You comment. You like my posts. You see my family posts and stuff like that. Akron. Shout out to the city of Akron. My thoughts are with the city of Akron, the city of outside of Chicago, and Philadelphia over this past weekend, Independence Day, and this country needs to take a look at each other. I know Big Kev on Facebook. All right.
Can someone please promo when Roger starts bringing up the horrible situations that are going on around town, Ed's face, because it is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
I can't wait to see him tomorrow with Emmett Golden. You're going to be Emmett Golden's favorite.
there's a lot of passion about what's happening in these horrible cities, and Ed is not here for it. He does not
That's
want to
not
talk
true.
about
That
it.
is not. I am just.
That's huge.
He mentioned Akron, and now he's naming every city that's had
The
tragedy
first
in
time
the
you
last.
mentioned Akron, you did the same thing. You made a face like, "Oh, shut the fuck up."
That's not. No,
Yes,
no.
you did. You did rule. You gave me the rural Ohio look.
And shout out to Ed's father-in-law down in Florida. I don't know where that came from, but that was probably my favorite moment of the night.
I hope justice prevails in Akron. I hope everybody stays vigilant. I hope everybody loves, their neighbor and everything. And just remember that if something did go awry, hopefully it'll get corrected
Right.
the way that it
The
needs
whole
corrected
city
in
in general.
a peaceful manner. In a peaceful
Right.
manner.
I'm not taking sides in it. Everybody needs the whole city, all of it, man. It's just a disaster.
It's a horrible thing to go through. And,
What happened in
3 minutes
Akron?
away. It's
I'm
right across
kidding.
the
I'm
bridge.
kidding. I'm kidding.
well,
Don't get me in trouble, Kevin. Don't get me in trouble here.
all I know is, raise your hand if you didn't shoot at any police today.
Oh. I didn't want to say it.
Andy,
Hey, you know what? She
Andy's
used
like
to be normal. She used to be normal at one point. I don't know. I follow guys about my guys with the Indians, or the Indian Guardians, and
Woo! It got hot in here. It got hot in here.
Oh,
stayed
what
out of it,
can you
man.
say? Especially when you have a gig. That was the best part. Like she had a gig with the Guardians, right?
Yeah.
She gets a press pass and she still works there. Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll see. Maybe we'll see what happens.
She turned very,
Kevin's crying.
with the Sean Watson signing. She flipped, just went off the. I wonder. You know what? I have a Vizquel. You want to hear irony? You want to hear fucking irony? I won a Vizquel, Omar Vizquel jersey.
You're not going to talk about the bathroom.
That right before he got popped for beating up his wife, and I won it from Natalie. So, and a podcast that she was involved with.
We weren't in names.
You do know. You guys do know that Kevin.
I have it.
worked for
It's
the
3
same-
feet away from me in a box. I don't have it hung on the wall because I have a wife.
I mean, awkward.
And my wife took it down off the fucking wall.
Well, here's my point.
Yes, please, Andy.
I mean, really, Andy, get to your point.
Okay. What I'm just gonna say is sometimes we have thoughts on Twitter, and we say things because we say things too much, and maybe it wasn't as bad as we thought it was, and we just need to calm down.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna hang it on my wall behind.
Ooh, that was a fun segment. Oh my. Ew.
It's fine.
Yeah, sorry, I'm a little, I get intoxicated during the show, and then I say stupid shit, Kevin. I apologize.
Hey, I do that
Love
every
you.
time I open my mouth.
And you're great. So everyone's pretty much great for the most part, right?
Is Baby Man here to
It's true.
check us out or something? Because it's another awkward.
Andy's doing a good job, like Baby Mansion, just
Right.
gaslighting everything.
Something. Save us, Andy.
No, that was great. That was like Billy Bats talking to De Niro at the bar. He's like, I don't know what happened. And Joe Pesci and De Niro just start beating him to death. That was great. I did not see that coming.
Kevin, do you feel like you got ran over right now?
No, yeah, I felt like I was beat to death, and I was
Yeah,
still alive in the
yeah.
trunk, and then Andy got me with the knife. Finish it off.
I tried to save you. I tried to, but Andy's gonna keep,
Listen,
whacking away.
first of all, it doesn't matter. No one's watching. Second of all,
Yeah. Nobody's watching.
anything can happen on the Dawg Chug. And
Yeah. Tune
never
in
in
next.
a million years did I consider, any kind of relationship or anything. So I apologize to you.
No, it's fine.
No, it's
Yeah.
fine. I was laughing more. I wasn't expecting it. It was like a curveball. It was just hilarious. That's what I was doing. But I wasn't embarrassed. I was just trying not to show
Regardless
myself
if you
laughing.
say something silly on Twitter, at least you're not a Nazi like
Hey,
the Browns owner.
tune in next week when you find out that I carried a murder weapon when I was 13 years old.
Holy cow. All right. Well, anyway, that's going to do it for this week of the Dog Chug. Please tune in next week if we haven't gotten canceled. We'd really appreciate it. Kevin, you were amazing as always. I can't wait to have you on in season when we can actually talk about games.
Yes.
That's going to be amazing. Sorry for having you on in the middle of the dead season, but at least you got to hear some amazing Roger stories and we got to make you feel really fucking awkward. That's what we like to do on the Dog Chug.
Thank you, boys.
Next time, though, we are going to make sure that you make us sing because, we don't sing enough on the Dog Chug.
We are the Paul Brown Boys.
Yes. Paul Brown Boys.
There you go.
Take us out singing, Kev.
Hello. We are the